I want to describe a feeling that every rider knows. That moment, usually on a highway on-ramp, usually at speed, usually when you least expect it, where the front end does something slightly unexpected through a curve. Not dramatic, not a full tank slapper, just a subtle momentary vagueness, a fraction of a second where the bike doesn't respond exactly the way your hands asked it to. Most riders chalk it up to road surface, a patch of worn pavement, wind, maybe they move their body weight wrong. They don't chalk it up to pressure check. Almost nobody does. Let me tell you about a Tuesday afternoon in September on I-70 outside of Kansas City, where that exact feeling preceded one of the most frightening moments I've had on a motorcycle in 11 years of riding. I was doing 72 miles per hour, light traffic, a sweeping left-hand curve I've ridden 100 times. I know exactly how the bike should feel through it, settled, planted, confident. That day, it felt different, slightly slow to respond, like I was steering through something reluctant. I got through it fine, pulled over at the next exit, heart rate elevated, trying to figure out what just happened. I checked my front tire pressure. I was running 26 psi. My bike spec is 36 psi front, 10 psi low on the tire that steers the motorcycle, that controls where you go and how fast you stop. I'd been riding on it for weeks, through city traffic and highway miles and that sweeping curve on I-70 without ever checking. This is what wrong tire pressure actually does to your bike, not just the performance stuff, not just the mileage numbers, the physics of what's happening beneath you when those tires aren't inflated correctly. Once you understand it, you will never skip a pressure check again. Your tires are not just rubber. They are the only part of your entire motorcycle that touches the road. Everything, your engine's power, your brakes' stopping force, your ability to lean through a corner, has to pass through two contact patches, roughly the size of your palm each. Two hand-sized ovals of rubber are the entire interface between a 400 to 700-pound machine and the road surface. The shape, size, and stiffness of those contact patches are determined almost entirely by tire pressure. Get the pressure right, and those patches are exactly what the tire engineers designed. Get it wrong, and you're riding on a different tire than the one you paid for. A tire that handles differently, stops differently, wears differently, and in certain conditions, fails differently. That's not a metaphor, that's mechanical reality. What underinflation is doing to your bike. An underinflated tire is a structurally compromised tire. When pressure drops below spec, the sidewalls flex more than they were designed to. Every rotation, every corner, every bump, those sidewalls are bending and recovering in an exaggerated cycle. That excessive flex generates heat, not the kind you can feel with your hand in a parking lot, the kind that builds internally over miles of riding. Heat is the primary enemy of tire rubber chemistry. It accelerates the breakdown of the compounds that give your tire its grip. It weakens the bond between rubber and the internal belt structure. In extreme cases, an underinflated tire pushed hard on a hot summer highway, that internal heat buildup can cause catastrophic tread separation at speed. On a motorcycle, the consequences of that don't need elaboration. Even without catastrophic failure, the daily effect is significant. The contact patch gets wider and flatter than intended. Weight concentrates on the outer edges instead of loading evenly across the tread. A tire that should last 12,000 miles might be done at 8,000, edges scrubbing themselves away on every straight and every lean. That's $200 in premature replacement costs for the price of a $15 pressure gauge you already should own. The handling effect is equally serious. That wider, softer contact patch causes the tire to deform under cornering load instead of holding its shape. When you initiate a lean, the tire squirms slightly before committing. That squirm is the vagueness I felt on I-70, that hesitation between input and response that makes a sweeping highway curve feel slightly dishonest. In casual city riding, it's the background sensation you learn to ignore. At 72 miles per hour in a sustained curve, it's the thing that elevates your heart rate at a gas station exit ramp.
What overinflation is doing to your bike.
Overinflation gets far less attention because the symptoms are less dramatic. The bike feels responsive, slightly firm, crisp turn-in. What's the problem? An overinflated tire is too stiff to conform to the road surface. Part of your tire's job is to deform very slightly around small road irregularities, pebbles, tar strips, texture variations. That micro-deformation maintains consistent contact across the tread. It's part of how grip works. A tire inflated beyond its optimal range loses that capability. The contact patch shrinks to the center of the tread. The outer edges, the part you're relying on in corners, lift slightly off the road surface. Your actual grip footprint is smaller than your confidence suggests. Push hard in a fast corner on the kind of imperfect American asphalt that covers most of this country, and that overinflated tire gives you less margin than you think. Center-heavy tire wear is the signature of chronic overinflation. If you've ever seen a tire worn smooth in the middle with visible tread on the shoulders, that tire was run too hard. The center carried the full load, while the shoulders, your cornering tread, barely touched the road. The other effect is ride harshness. Every road imperfection transmits directly through the tire into the chassis. Over long rides on American interstates, that harshness accumulates in your hands, wrists, and lower back. Riders sometimes blame their seat or riding position when their tires are partly responsible. What the right pressure actually feels like. A properly inflated tire has a specific feel that, once you know it, becomes a reference point you carry on every ride. The front end has weight and authority. When you initiate a corner, the response is immediate and confident. No vagueness, no squirm, just the bike going where you point it. The feedback through the handlebars is clear and informative. The rear sits planted under acceleration. Power delivery feels clean and linear because the contact patch is the right shape to efficiently transmit engine torque to the road. Braking, and this is the one that matters most, is firmer and shorter. Proper tire pressure gives the contact patch structural stiffness to resist deformation under braking force. Underinflated tires deform under hard braking, creating a mushy feel and measurably longer stopping distances. In emergency braking from 60 miles per hour, the difference between correct and incorrect pressure can be 8 to 15 feet. Think about what 15 feet means at a red light that changed faster than you expected, at a deer stepping onto a county road at dusk. 15 feet is not abstract. 15 feet is real. The correct habit, simple, permanent. Your bike has two pressure specs, front and rear, almost always different. Both are in your owner's manual and typically on a sticker on your swing arm. These are your numbers, not the maximum pressure molded into the tire sidewall. That's the tire's limit, not your bike's spec. Check both tires cold before the bike has moved that day. A tire ridden even 5 miles has elevated pressure from heat. Checking a warm tire gives a falsely high reading and causes riders to underinflate trying to correct it. Get a digital gauge, not the pencil gauges at gas stations. Those are often 3 to 5 psi inaccurate. A quality digital gauge costs $12 to $18 and gives you an accurate reading every time for years. Check both tires before every single ride. 90 seconds. That's what stands between you and everything described above. The premature wear, the handling vagueness, the reduced braking performance, the I-70 moment. In America's climate extremes, summer heat in Arizona, winter cold in the upper Midwest, tire pressure changes at roughly 1 psi for every 10 degrees Fahrenheit shift. Season changes mean pressure checks every time without exception. The single most consistent correlation I've observed across 11 years and 7 bikes, the ones that handled best, wore tires most evenly, and stopped most confidently, were always the ones where I was most consistent about checking tire pressure. Not the most expensive bikes, not the most sophisticated suspension, the ones with properly inflated tires. 2 tires, 2 pressure specs, 90 seconds before every ride. On I-70, doing 72 miles per hour through a sweeping curve, you deserve a front tire you can trust completely. Check your pressure before your next ride. If this just changed how seriously you take those 90 seconds, hit that like button and subscribe. Next week, we're doing a complete tire inspection guide, teaching you exactly how to read your wear patterns. See you then.